manju shi ye, namo so shi ye, namo dama shi ye so ha, namo manju shi ye, namo so shi ye, namo dama shi ye so sa ha. Chö dang su ki chö nang lai, jiang chu man du na ki gyao su chi, da ki chü nian ki be chö nang ki, zhuo la ben jie zang ki zhu fa shu sa. Chö dang su ki chö nang lai, jiang chu man du na ki gyao su chi, da ki chü nian ki be chö nang ki, zhuo la ben jie zang ki zhu fa shu sa. Chö dang su ki chö nang lai, jiang chu man du na ki gyao su chi, da ki chü ki be chö nang ki, zhuo la ben jie zang ki zhu fa shu sa. 那个就是没多少，是让灵犀你的根本的，上学前都没得我，因为这个当大心了就把手，不如让上面上了钢铁呀，大呀。This is just your sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. And think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but for numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mothers sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering due to mistakenly engaging with objects of adoptions and abandonment, they do not experience any happiness, but suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and its causes that are virtues. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. Cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as physical pain, sickness, and harm caused by 4 elements. May their bodies be free from the discordant class. I'll cause their bodies to be free from the entire discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
이제 뭐들을 뒤집어 만드는 지금 시도하고 있는 한번 하라는 하루가 되는 지금 가다가 저 대신에 만나면 신경을 쓰고
How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as fear, and all coarse and subtle negative discursive thoughts. May their minds be free from the entire discordant class. I'll free their minds from the entire discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
이제 뭐를 뒤집어 만드는 하고 그래서 마지막에 맞춰 서로 같은 좀 지금 가다가 저 대신에 만나면 신경을 쓰고
How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as lying and all other coarse and subtle negative speech. May their speech be free from the entire discordant class. I will free their speech from the entire discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
이제 뭐를 뒤집어 만드는 것을 지금 서로 보면 이제 하다가 좀 지금 가다가 저 대신에 만나면 신경을 쓰고
How nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the entire class discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mothers, may their three doors be free from the entire discordant class. I'll free their three doors from the entire discordant class. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
이제 뭐를 생각해 또 뭐를 좀 뭐가 같은 좀 지금 가다가 저 대신에 만나면 신경을 쓰고
How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from all suffering and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. Our freedom from all suffering and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
뭐는 이제보다 통제 거래에 쓰는 그 쓰는 계란하고 거기다 비내가 세운다 봐도 생기지 금방에 그다음에 그러다 보니까 쓰는 세운다 봐도 생기는 옆에 그래서 이제 털리는 생기지 금방에 필요가 더 샤워 무슨 내가 이제 전부 쓰고 있어
Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, now I do not have the ability to place them on the stage of fact complete enlightenment. Who has such ability? Those who have achieved the state of affect complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment. Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into the aspects of a complete mundis at one's heart. Ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness. All phenomena lack inherent existence. These transform into the aspects of a white, five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. The self and the aggregates do not exist as inherently one. If they were inherently one, they would necessarily become partless one. If they were partless one, they are following thoughts. It would be pointless to assert a self. Self would become many. Self was subject to productions and disintegration. It would be unreasonable to remember past lives. Karma one has done would go wasted. One would meet with karma one has not done. Therefore, the self or the I do not exist as inherently one with the aggregates. The self also do not exist as inherently different from the aggregates. If they were inherently different, they would necessarily become partless. Sorry, they would necessarily become unrelatedly other. Therefore, self is neither exists as inherently one or inherently different from the aggregates. As I always say, it is very important to conjoin whatever roots or virtue of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. To conjoin these roots of virtue with the practice of six perfections is as follows. The first one is generosity. The nature of generosity is a mind of giving. The roots of virtue of listening, contemplation, and meditation on the Dharma is for the sake of purifying the sufferings of all sentient beings and achieving their happiness. If I'm able to cause these minds of giving to strongly manifest, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of generosity. Next is morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal misdeeds without letting them manifest. If I'm able to cause these minds of abandonment to manifest while engaging in these roots of virtue, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of morality. Next is patience. The nature of patience is a mind that is undisturbed. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma, I will patiently accept any physical or mental hardships and difficulties. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this manner, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of patience. Next is joyous effort. The nature of joyous effort is a mind that is enthusiastic for virtue. I will joyfully and enthusiastically engage in the roots of virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this manner, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of joyous effort. Next is concentration. The nature of concentration is a single-pointed mind with respect to virtuous objects. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the virtuous object that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this way, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of concentration. Last one is wisdom. The nature of wisdom is a knower that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. I will properly and unmistakenly understand the words and meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. If I'm able to engage in these roots of virtue in this manner, then these roots of virtue will be conjoined with the practice of wisdom. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. So among the 37 harmonies of enlightenment, there are uh, eight groups. I think there are seven divisions. And then we are at the fifth division, which is the five strengths. So we are at the fifth division, the paths that connect to clear realization, the five strengths. In order to explain that there is a reason for explaining the paths that connect to clear realization, so the paths that connect to clear realization refer to five strengths. After the paths that prepare for clear realization, these refer to five powers. The reason is because having attained the five powers, there are of the entity of heat and heat, the five strengths, the entities of forbearance and supreme mundane quality will arise. Therefore, they are explained in such a manner. Solam kita kena, jolam ki cuaca. So there is a reason for explaining the paths that connect to clear realization. So paths that connect to clear realization refers to the five powers. So the five powers are the power of faith, power of choice, and third power of mindfulness, power of meditative civilization, and power of wisdom. After the paths, sorry, explaining the paths that connect to clear realization after the paths that connect for clear realization. So paths that connect for clear realizations refer to the five powers. And these five powers are the power of faith, power of choice, effort, mindfulness, meditative civilization, and wisdom. So, and then it's because having attained these five powers, they are of the entities of heat and peak, which are the two levels of path of operation, the five strengths, the entities of forbearance and supreme mundane quality will arise. So at the time of the level of heat of the path of preparation, one practice these five powers, and from these, then one will the five strengths, the entities of forbearance and supreme mundane quality will arise. So having attained heat and so forth, forbearance and supreme mundane quality will arise. Therefore, with respect to the path that connects to clear realization, the entities of forbearance and supreme mundane quality is the five aspects of the strengths of faith, choice, effort, mindfulness, meditative civilization, and wisdom. Meaning of the text, the subject, the paths that connect to clear realization are many because they are the five strengths, faith, and so forth, within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. So in general, when we talk about five paths, the previous one is five. Sorry, the previous one is five powers, not five powers. Sorry, five powers. When we talk about five powers, then we have to understand in this context, the five powers refers to the five powers within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. Another way of saying this is the five powers. They are part of the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. In general, there is a difference between the five powers in general context and the five powers within the seven harmonies of enlightenment.
我记住我，当我正考起我了，看到这个我，设计我们那些，你我那些，设计嘛，我有的么，我，我有的，他我没的我，你怎么没的？没的我们那些，你是吧？他没的那是点不起的，没的点不起的，他多我们这个没点不起。
Next is decisive analysis. Subdivisions of decisive analysis. The first one is objects of observation. The objects of observations of the five strengths are just as above for the five powers. So the objects of observations of the five strengths are the same as that of the five powers. So it refers to the four truths. So the objects of observation of the five strengths are the four truths.
你的这个点不起，到公司的嘛是的，那我是公司个噻，那我们的什么就公司这个的，对吧？对比到嘞，对比到公巴嘞，当然我嘞，政治多公巴嘞，对比到，也嘞，经济多了，经济多点嘞，也是多是，我们的嘛，什么，也是公司人把的都是人把关调了的，公司人把搞的是呢，我什么嘛，你把什么人把有嘛，我是也是个。我们结婚不对，他讲的什么都没有，我也不管啊，什么这都有。
Sorry, just now when I explained the meaning of the text, I say that because they are the five strengths, faith, and so forth within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment, then in general, when we talk about five strengths, not five powers, I say it wrongly. So in general, five strengths is different from the five strengths within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. This I will explain later. So we are in the context of we are talking about five strengths, not five powers. Five powers is the previous one. So then the modes of cultivation. So there is a mode of cultivations of the five strengths because since the respective former causes are present, one engages in the respective later effects. So basically, the five strengths are faith, choice, effort, mindfulness, meditative stabilization, and wisdom, right? So by cultivating faith, joyous effort arises, and by cultivating joyous effort, mindfulness arises, and by cultivating mindfulness, meditative stabilization arises, and by cultivating meditative stabilization, wisdom arises. So the later arises in dependence on the former one. So the previous one or the former one gives rise to the later one.
我自己人家对吧？我自己人家的人家，你去把你
告诉你的
去帮你国民做，我自己人家我是在人家国民做，国民帮人家，在国民是帮人家，人家国民的话呢，也帮人家，联系劳动人也帮人家，你们这个别的你真做点事，对吧？你这个这个真的上班呢，我真把你啊，也不就。不，真是这么结果的，整个你们的，还是整个你们的，整个你们的呢，那么没有，谁那么没有，谁那么有还是，现在是有的说，那谁那么小白呢？打到你的心里也是，那到我知道有些吧，那觉得我，我，但我人都是讲的，然后是我人，
养到我知道我是在电视养到我知道我的心有了。
我的电视养到我知道。
So regarding these five strengths, the mode of cultivations is when one develops faith, one becomes faithful, then one will undertake the joyous effort for the sake of the result. And if one undertakes the joyous effort, the mindfulness is closely abided. Yeah, the mindfulness is closely abided. Yeah, the mindfulness will become closely abided. And when the mindfulness is abided, since one will not become distracted, since one will not be distracted, therefore the mind is placed in the equipoise. And since the mind is placed in the equipoise, one will thoroughly know the four truths as it is. So one will thoroughly know the fourth truth as it is also means that one will thoroughly know the object of adoptions and object to be discarded with respect to the four truths as it is. So I repeat. So first, the modes of cultivation is like in this order. First, one develops faith, or one's become faithful. One will undertake joyous effort for the sake of the results. If one undertakes the joyous effort, the mindfulness will be closely abided. If the mindfulness is abided, since one will not be distracted, the mind is placed in the equipoise. Since the mind is placed in the equipoise, one will thoroughly know the four truths or the objects of adoptions and objects to be discarded with respect to the four truths as it is. The third division is purpose. There is a purpose of the five strengths. First, there is the purpose of generating the path of seeing and quickly completing the later two levels of the path of preparation, parents, and supreme mundane quality. So there are two purposes. The two purposes of cultivating five strengths. The first one is the purpose of generating the path of seeing. So generating the path of seeing also means that generating the paths that directly sees the truth. Generating the path that directly sees the truth. So that is what it means by the purpose of generating the path of seeing, path of directly seeing the truths. And quickly completing the later two levels of the path of preparation. So the later two levels of the path of preparation refer to the level of appearance and the level of supreme mundane quality. So this is the second purpose, quickly completing the later two levels of the path of preparation. So the first purpose is to in Tibetan there is one is like two is like over here and pa is over there. So it's like there are two purposes. The first one is to generate the path of seeing in oneself. And quickly completing the two levels of the path of preparation is like quickly completing that two levels, quickly completing that two levels of the path of preparation, which are forbearance and supreme mundane quality.
他习惯我的是吧？他习惯我的，他知道我说你的做把的，这把是给你切把的下个看的，你的做把的不把的是吧？不把的，这把是让个举了，啥把去接的，他同样啥把去接的是吧？他用了什么你的做把，他多不怕，用我就开始使用吧，用了清楚给多把的，清楚的，同样你个东西两下提起来，两下听起来。我是两下提起来，用了清楚，他提进去，用了清楚也强了，是吧？这个用了清楚行了吧？清楚的东北人呢，两把下跌，清楚一些是吧？用了清楚一些的东北人两把下跌，那东北人两把下把的能力，空了地级当部，两下一些给你听起来，两下听起来是，两下听起，他等你清楚一些的，我的两把下跌的。我东北人两百现在，东北人的，我是的，广州的，我打，碰了啥吧？两百我是多少？碰了啥都，碰了啥？碰了啥可能？我两百下那个地方是讲了清楚一些的哇，你知道吧？清楚一些的东北人的两百下，东北人的两百下，包括东北人的两百下的，东北人的我是的，广州的，碰了，可能。可能到两百我是上可以哪些，到底打得下来？那两下的打到老师，两下的破了对吧？两下的破，可是我是这样吧？那是往我也破了，两下就破不了嘛的，那是街头就告诉破是那真些要嘛，对吧？街头就告诉找你些要嘛。
So so it generates the path of seeing. So in newly generate the paths of seeing in one's continuum, and it quickly completing the later two levels of the path of preparation. So when one is on the level of supreme mundane quality, when one is on the level of supreme mundane qualities, the exalted wisdom of the supreme mundane qualities, the exalted wisdom on the level of supreme mundane qualities, it plays in the equipoise. It is placed in the equipoise. It is placed in the equipoise on emptiness. So, and when this exalted wisdom on the level of supreme mundane qualities transfer to the path of seeing, it is transferred in the meditative equipoise. So it means that one attain the higher path from the lower path in the state of meditative equipoise. So so it's in one meditative equipoise, one's exalted wisdom of the level on the level of supreme mundane qualities transfer to the path of seeing. Yeah. So whenever one directly realize meaning of emptiness, then one attain the path of seeing. Then one transfer from the level of supreme mundane quality to the path of seeing. And this transference from the lower path to higher path only happen in meditative equipoise. It doesn't happen during the post meditation.
那像听几首那这样子，我在这上，而且呢，就用了清楚一些的，东北人我是说的，说那个通了。 냠샤가 딩담다 핑치를 해서 라인바 핑치의 간들에서는 보다 더 되고 상황이 어떤 와이나 맞아 요나 춘조 가서 돈이라 찌지도 냠바 샤는데
저런 춘주
요나 춘조 가서 와 돈이라 찌지도 냠바 샤바 이 아니 야 오나라 가로 거저래 마도 이 버루지라 제토라 샤요 그래서
도만이 제지도 냠바샤베
냠바샤비 요나 춘조 요로
야베강네
요나 춘조데 야 제토라 츠샤데 저원이 요 말했어 제토라 츠샤마 말 진초냐게 이게 아마디 냐샤 대가라나 뭐니라 냠바샤비 나샤시 대가로 공부는 무슨 거 그냥 자시 주로와 이게 뭐란 티 다로 이데라 다로 되 뭐로 요레스 이 빠루랑 가서 제토라 파샤 랑 가서 랑 이바라 사버데 번냠바자 야 초사 이도라샤 전화사 우리 제고라 이 월 제사로와 제사리 다 도나 치전 카말레사 카말레사리 안우샤 대가로 본인에서도 토마냐샤 이게 핀치리 해서 라이바 핀치라 왔다 대가 냐샤 이게 치전 냐샤 이게 냐샤 저거 대가네 봐 이게야 오나 뭐 노래 오나 뭐 노래 뭐 이뻐루라 제토라 파샤 야야자츠 좀바 샤스네 들이 요말 근데 제가 tingi chawma rwa 근데 저는 tingi chawma rwa tingi 다로라 오나 뭐 지는 그래서 tingi 있어
조랑 춘주기 도바데 초람 라파 포야데 냠샤 춘지요 통람 포야데 통람 줘야데 냠샤 춘지라 여기 왜
tingi에서 코로나자지 tingi를 해놓고 코로나자요 코로나자지 대다 코로나 지도 나자지 tingi를 했어
조랑 춘주기 냠샤 이시
대다 코로나자지 tingi
통람 냠샤 이시
고마 코로나자지요
고마
고마
통람 냠샤 이시
나딘 tingi에서 거든 요나 진짜 나자지 나자 야랑 말에 코로나자지 뭐도 tingi서 진짜 가라 무슨 대파루라 제토라 샤샤나 사바데 리요 이 요스나 핑기 하고요 말아
So the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on the level of supreme mundane qualities, that exalted wisdom and the exalted wisdom, and the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on the path of seeing at the beginning. At the beginning, the exalted wisdom of the meditative equipoise of the path of seeing are one meditative equipoise. Repeat. The exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on the level of supreme mundane quality and the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on the path of seeing at the beginning are in one meditative equipoise, or one sessions of meditative equipoise. So one sessions of meditative equipoise means that on the level of supreme mundane quality, one single pointedly focus on the one's mind is single pointedly focused on the emptiness. One's mind is placed in equipoise, single pointedly focused on emptiness. From within that, that exalted wisdom transfer to the path of seeing. It becomes the entity of realization, direct realizations of emptiness. Repeat. When on the occasions of supreme mundane quality, one's mind is placed in equipoise, single pointedly focused on emptiness. From within that, that exalted wisdom transfer to the path of seeing. To transfer to the path of seeing means that exalted wisdom becomes, or it turns into the entity of direct realizations of emptiness. So that is what it means by it transfer to the entity of path of seeing, or it transfer to path of seeing, or it turns into entity of direct realizations of emptiness. So that is why the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of supreme mundane quality and the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of path of seeing at the beginning
are in one meditative equipoise, because on the occasions of supreme mundane quality, one's mind is placed in the equipoise single-pointedly focused on emptiness. From within that, one's transferred to the path of seeing. So one transferred to the path of seeing, that exalted wisdom transfer, that exalted wisdom turns into the entity of path of seeing, or it becomes the entity of direct realization emptiness. So it happens in one meditative equipoise. So if one were to rise from the meditation, and then during the post meditation, then one accumulate merits, then this doesn't mean that it happened in one meditative equipoise. So it happened in one meditative equipoise because from within that meditative equipoise, one transfer to the higher plane of seeing. So the fourth one is entity, entity or the definition. So there is an entity of the five strengths because the entity of a strength of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment is an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes. So cannot be surmounted or cannot be overcome by its discordant classes. So we are talking about the definitions of a strength of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment is an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes. So if someone were to ask, an exalted knower is an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes is the definitions of a strength of the completely pure class or not? Then the answer is no. An exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant class is not the definitions of a strength of the completely pure class. It is the definitions of a strength of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. We must have these phrases. So it's just like what I have explained in the context of 5 powers. So this is the same for the 5 strengths. Lama 중엔 신의 통엔 동아요로. 그래서 So an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes is not the definitions of strength of the completely pure class, is because this strength of the completely pure class, even, sorry, the strength of the completely pure class exists in the continuum of a person who hasn't entered the path and has achieved calm abiding. I repeat. So this an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes is not the definitions of a strength of the completely pure class. It is because a strength of the completely pure class can exist in the continuum of a person who hasn't entered the path and has achieved calm abiding. So therefore, when we talk about this strength of the completely pure class, it is different from the strength of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment.
我对着啊，我这第一话他妈学的，当然是没必须做我们的说的，我这我们学的这个了，按照让我们必须做我们的说的，那也那对，上下是不一样，是你到的第七背下来的，第七背下来的，那个上就是你拿是比多久了啊？那些说的是拿自己的比多的，比多的，让我们必须马的把它开始，马的把它，是吧？다 대비 또 되게 그러면 그죠 마디 바데 문주와 문주고 그거 녀살스 문주와 동살스 거 좋아 문주와 동살이 내고 간다 마디 바데기 저 기법다 내가 기도 말했어 내가 기도 말 지마 뒤에 이제 가지나 지마 뒤에 니 대비 또 되게 그런 거 문디쇼 마디 바데 동살했어 와那过修起来，看到年末的修起过一些我那的，问题就在你把要说啥了，是可你把原来是那九个啊，没得把修经过来是那点把都娘了吧，点把娘了吧，我的主要问题是让我们的修去主要没比在给你得比多的投的，大学说的拿去得比多的投的，这个你把的是到那个就是个是呢，问题修的。主要问题被到底脱离的是那边到，问题就会主要问题被那边到，多数的点把去脱离的这个，我那时候上要让我们去主要问题被全部是这里，是吧？那现在跟我们讲基本。
Yeah, so the five powers in the continuum of a person who hasn't entered the path and has achieved calm abiding. So that five strengths, just as I said, five powers, sorry, five strengths in the continuum of a person who hasn't entered the path and has achieved this calm abiding. So that five strengths is the strengths of the completely pure class, but they are not the strengths of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. So I repeat, to the five strengths in the continuum of a person who hasn't entered the path and but has achieved calm abiding. So that those five strengths are strengths of the completely pure class, and they are not strengths of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. So this is the entity of strength of a completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. It must be an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes. So then the divisions is they are the divisions of the strengths of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. They are the strength of faith, the strength of joyous effort, the strength of mindfulness, the strength of meditative civilization, and the strength of wisdom. So the strength of faith, for example, the strength of faith within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment, its discordant class is non-faith. So because it says that it is an exalted knower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant class, or it cannot be overcome by its discordant class. So, for example, the decoding class of the strength of faith is non-faith. So, its discordant class, the strength of faith, its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot arise or cannot manifest because it is destroyed. It is destroyed by who? It is destroyed by the strength of faith. So, because the strength of faith is stronger, that's why this strength of faith destroy its discordant class, which is non-faith. So why is it called strength? It is because it's called strength because it cannot be overcome or surmounted by its discordant classes. Therefore, it is called strength. And then similar applied to the rest of the divisions. So the explanations is similar to the rest of the division. So when he says they are the strength of faith, then we must understand that they are the strength of faith of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment. So even though the whole thing is not mentioned, however, you should understand that the strength of faith refers to the strength of faith of the completely pure class within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment, and similar to the strength of joyous effort, strength of mindfulness, strength of meditative civilization, and strength of wisdom. Boundaries. The boundaries of the 5 strengths range from the forbearance level of the path of preparation to the Buddha ground. So etymology, why is it called strength? It's called so because strength has the meaning of not being able to be surmounted by its discordant class, which is same as its definitions or entity, and in Zoran lower that cannot be surmounted by its discordant classes. In the next divisions is the difference between the two, power and strength. So there is difference between these two because power of the completely pure class arises as a mixture of the discordant class, such as non-faith and the antidote. So it's a mixture of the discordant class and the antidote. And the other refers to strength of the completely pure class arises in the entity of the antidote without being mixed with the discordant class.
이거 지금 딱 맞게 갈라서 봐. 그래서 뭐 무슨 대반이 왕복. 디쇼지 만데 님보 마히도안 어디서 어서 살았다. 뭐 무슨 지금
Yeah. So to support this point, the Great Commentary is quoted. The Great Commentary refers to the Great Commentary on the 8,000 verses of Pragyaparamita. So Great Commentary here refers to the Great Commentary on the 8,000 verses of Pragyaparamita, 8,000 lines or 8,000 verses of Pragyaparamita. So it says, what is the difference between the 5 powers and the 5 strengths? Oh yeah, and this great commentary is composed by the master Hari Barbara. So he says, what is the difference between the 5 powers and the 5 strengths? That which arises as a mixture of the discordant class, such as non-faith, and the antidote, such as faith, is called power. That which arises as only an antidote without being mixed with its discordant class is called strength.
다들 제가 되다. 한 가지 또 배경을 넣어야 돼. 나는 원본체 많이 들어서 기버시 맨티고다 인본 개발 요소도 한번 일본 개발은 된 원지 비케체 기시고 말. 그래서 우리가 일본은 원 이야기요 말이야. 원 이야기요 말이야. 이게 되다 말이 봐. 또대 일본 문디슈다 일본 말이 봐. 님이 뭐를 지금 그래서 일본 하나 봐. 이게 되다 말이 봐. 우리 되다 말이 봐. 님이 뭐를 하는 거야. ये तो किसी से गुरुआ तंबती शिरुआ कंटे मारू तंबती शिरुआ.
So when he says the difference between the powers and the strengths is that which arises as a mixture of the discordant class and the antidotes, then it's called power. So arise as a mixture of the discordant class and the antidotes. In other way of saying this is that which arises with the discordant class and the antidotes mix. So mix or mixture here, it doesn't mean that their entities are mixed. So I will explain it later. So when you say mix or unmixed, so mix doesn't mean that their entity are mixed.
그런데 메디시다 님본 개반주와 만데 반주에서 제반도와 다 당부디 하고 봐지 그냥 그때 가신거만 나시 뭐마다 제반도와 메디시오데 마데바 내로 제니 나에 더 시야로는 선도와 제시로는 이게 제서로 세보서와 제서로 뭐지 그 세보 소자래 나서 안보 메디시오데 예수 바치 예비게 메디시오 마데바 와 전주지 메디시오 내로 재미 메디시오 제니 나이 좀 메디시오 메디시오 문제 나이 새로 좀 메디시오 현샤도와 이렇게 예시 대가도 메디시오 예수 와 예수.
So discordant class and the antidotes. So antidotes such as faith, and its discordant class is non-faith. So according to Gita Rinpoche, so Gita Rinpoche clearly explains that the discordant class of faith is non-faith. The discordant class of joyous effort is laziness. The discordant class of mindfulness is forgetfulness. And the discordant class of meditative civilization is distraction. And the discordant class of wisdom is faulty wisdom. So first we identify the discordant class of each antidote or each strength.
미루와 하대 간르스나 와서 보다 원본이 치바데 치바데 간다 와 나 원본 세와데 가서 데리다 원본 세와데 간다 요나 그 제모니 가서 뭐야 내 대비 원본 뭐야 대비 원본 진주 원본 진주 원본 땡이 원본세 요나 드림 가서 와 요나 드림 가서 와 아, 요나 뒤지 가서 뭐가 담고 대비 원본 집어서 같이 샤와 요나 뒤지 가서 대비 원본 때 이가고 대비 원본 뭐도 들어와 이 원본 뭐도 주 신이 없어 아 되게 문제 속에 수주와 니그레스는 이거 말해서 아주 요나 제일 가서다 요나 제일 가서 가서 또 깨지시고 뭐 온볼 깨지시고다 요나 제일 가서 다 간다 대비 온보고 이니 대비 온보 몸에 대바 온보도 응을 주비 값소 이 문티죠 가래 마대바들와 마대바되게 수주와 니그레스는 이거 말해서 와 이거 말해서 아무로와 수주와 니그레스 누가 이거 말해서 요나 제일 가서다 맞아 꼭 깨지시고 뭐 단다 온보 깨지시고다 영화 뒤에 가서 맞아 데뷔 원보고 데뷔 원보 보면 가서 데뷔 원보 된 거는 주기비 가서 이 문디죠 가르네 문디도 말고 마디바 되게 데뷔 원보 저와 니그르스나 저와 니그 말했어 저와 니그 말대고 예 누가 pensar 좋아 저와 니그 말했어 뭐 되지
Yeah, so to talk about the difference between power and strength, like for example, on the occasions of level of heat on the path of preparation, one meditates on the strength of faith, for example, or one cultivates the strength of faith. And when faith manifests, its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot destroy, cannot overcome us. So its discordant class, non-faith, cannot overcome us. So why do we say that when uh, faith when faith manifests, its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot overcome us, is because its ability has been destroyed. It is destroyed by the strength of faith. So therefore, uh, uh, its discordant class, non-faith, cannot overcome us.
다 때문에 원보 기대시고 들어 또 기대시고 마다 뭐다 조나 제일 가서 대박을 지금 대박 맞지 신중에도 주기가 와 신중에도 주기가 여기 가서 한 멜로디 신 조언이 그래서 말했어 멜로디 문제 멜로디 조언이 말했어 다 대박 이 주기가 대비 또 대비 오므로 이 조나 제일 가서 아니다 제일 가서 대비 원보 등에 주기 가서 들어와 대박이 문제 가래 제발 와
지게 봐.
진이 들어와 어디 진이들이 나서 조언이 그래서 대리 그래서 저 말했어 등에 중에도 이 지원보 등에 주기 값소 예 나이 나이 되기 저 문제가 나이 되기 조언이 예 그래서 와 아, 결합돼. 결합 정보 등에 주니까 나 세자들이 좋아하는 세자들이 좋아하는 것은 여기 말했어. 나 참아도 좋아 뭐니 봐 집바인다. 또 맞아야 돼. 집바인다. 원보다 다 되게 원보 시고다. 너나 그럴까 시고다.
주디 지투 말아.
그거 말해. 숨을
소소라디
네, 또 말했어. 그래서 지었으면 내 지고 데려와. 내 지고도 코 매봐 참. 셀을 내 내로 슈팅 거는 셀을 매봐 하는 거야. 또 와.
그래서
순녀보다 참아도 아주 원복이 되시고다. 너나 트레시가 되시고다. 즉조한 이거 말했어. 또 뭐니 버는 거 뭐를 주지게 되시고다. 어떻게 거다 타가 제거다.
그래서 얘네들 주기 말했을 때 얘네들 대발라 마대바데 대발라 지 느낌
이거 순녀도 말해.
순녀도
말해. 되어와. 내가 고시 비까다. 세리 송지 비까다. 그렇지. 처음에 비까는 거다. 그거 그래서 잊어버려.
So yeah, so the first one is on the occasions of the level of heat on the path of preparation. The strength of faith is cultivated. The strength of faith is cultivated, or the strength of faith. One meditates on the strength of faith. So when faith manifests, or while the strength of faith manifesting, its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot overcome us. Just now I said overcome us, right? So it cannot overcome the strength, which is faith, because while faith is manifesting, then its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot overcome the strength, which is faith. So similarly, on the occasions of level of heat on the path of preparation, when the strength of joyous effort is cultivated, And when the strength of joyous effort manifesting, when that is manifesting, its discordant class, which is laziness, cannot overcome or cannot harm the strength, which is the strength of joyous effort. So similarly, on the occasions of the level of heat on the path of preparation, when the strength of mindfulness is cultivated, when uh, mindfulness is manifesting, its discordant class, which is forgetfulness, cannot overcome the strength, the mindfulness. And on the occasions on the level of heat on the path of preparation, when the strength of meditative stabilization is cultivated, when the strength of meditative stabilization is cultivated, when meditative stabilization is manifesting, its discordant class, which is distraction, cannot overcome the meditative stabilization. And the last one is on the occasion, on the level of heat, on the path of preparation, the strength of wisdom is cultivated. When the strength of wisdom is cultivated, when wisdom is manifesting, its discordant class, which is faulty wisdom, cannot overcome wisdom. So all these happens on the occasions on the level of heat on the path of preparation.
Oh, that is that. Slagi the level, donor clear, clear because she were clear because for the person in there, clear because control. Also, the bada, the biombo, Zimbo, Jimbo, Dingo, Chilombo, some of the Jew, she be capsule. Ah, the Medishogi, Ziwan, Medisho, the Joy Maris, Medisho, Zimmer, Medisho, Jura, some Jura, and Medisho, Jetumara, not Jetumara, Nimbo, the name of Jibirua, what the word Jibirua. Judio Suda, Medisho, yes, wow, Ziwan Maris. I think so, is not. I'm going to Majiba, he gives a different point about Maiba, point about Maiba, me Jeto Jineka Majorua, Jeto Jinekala. They are going to so much Medisho, Madiba so much to do this, Madibang, Yansias, Juarez, Madibang Jua. Ah, solution Medisho, Lelo with the Juarez, with Juarez, what? Lelo with the Juarez, they just Lelo with the Juarez, they don't do the Zilkana, solution. 我们就吃自由啊，你不自由啊，我得吃自由啊，我吃自由身上，他讲的，那第一就是啊，现场，那也他们我的就完了，是，中国的就完了，第一节，那第一节我的就的，但你不看看，那是，你把那个啥，你不看看自由啊，你不自由的啊，你们就觉得你会把就是对，对的对的，你对吧？而且公的。啊，我的就有个他，我这边的是这多嘛，是吧？我感觉我第一节你告诉是这么多啊，我的就要嘛，第一个嘛就第一节你个是这么多啊，是这么多啊，是我的就，那这是我的就，他看的，啊对嘛，我的就啊，来了我的就啊，那样我的就啊，现下我的就啊，我的就的，你没吃，你没你把那个时候，是吧？我的这三层对吧？你不的。就是你个你把牛在一起行吧，我觉得那你把是，
你不当米准错，
你这把就是我不的，你这把牛的也是，那这把牛马的是了吧？
这把就可能
这把看到哦，
So on the occasions of the on the occasions on the level of on the level of heat on the path of preparation. So when these antidotes or when these strengths are cultivated, such as faith, joy, effort, and etc. So when these are cultivated, so cultivated means that when these antidotes or when these strengths is manifesting, their respective discordant class, such as non-faith and such as laziness, cannot overcome the antidote or cannot overcome the strength. So cannot overcome the strength or cannot overcome the antidotes means that those discordant class cannot manifest. So cannot manifest. If they can manifest, then they will overcome the antidote or strength, right? So when those strength are manifesting, when those strength is manifesting, then its discordant class cannot overcome the strength or cannot overcome the antidote. So when does these discordant classes manifest? So they manifest during the post-meditation. So when the strength is not manifesting, so when the strength is not cultivated or not manifesting, then during this post-meditation, these discordant classes will manifest and will manifest. If they manifest, then they will manifest during the post-meditation. And when these discordant classes are manifesting, then the antidotes lose its ability. Those antidotes lose its ability. Those antidotes are not so they destroy the ability of those antidotes. So in other way of saying this is those antidotes are overcome by those discordant classes. So overcome by those discordant classes means that those discordant classes are manifesting. So this is the meaning of discordant. So the discordant class mix with the antidotes. So so all these explanations is to explain the mixture of the discordant class and the antidotes. So it means that when the strength are cultivated and is manifesting, then its discordant class cannot manifest. Then, however, during the post-meditation, when the strength is not cultivated, then their respective discordant class manifests. So that is what it means by mixture of the discordant class and the antidote. Chokyi 가수로. 당기데 대소 왕봉가로. 아유, 당기데 동아데 시작. 이 스피드 주 당매 공다. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I used the word strength of faith, strength of choice, ever strength of mindfulness, strength of meditative civilization, and strength of wisdom. So on the level of heat and the level of heat on the path of preparation is not strength, is power. So sorry, I always mix up these two words. Okay, so sorry, let me clarify. So on the occasions of the level of heat and heat of the path of preparation, the power of five powers such as faith is cultivated when these five powers are manifesting. Their respective discordant class cannot overcome the antidote or cannot overcome the power. So it means that their respective discordant class cannot manifest. So sorry, I always confuse these two words, power and strength. So so on the occasions of level of heat and heat of the path of preparation, the five powers such as faith are cultivated when the power of faith is manifesting. Its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot overcome the power of faith. So sorry, Konda.
저 니보다 니급 니도와 니시고 저 니비급지다 저 니비급지 급니 와 요나 그래서 가서 그래서 가서 되니 한번 대소 한번 가서 보니까 보니까 대소 한번 가서 뭐도 저기 가서 그도 집에 가서 랑 니시고 저 이거 말했어 와 사람 뭐도 맞지 봐. 이 제지 내가나 이 제지 내가나 사람 뭐 비쇼 저 그랬어 문디쇼가 뭐데 그 니서 문디쇼 뭐데 줘야 그래 했어 문디쇼와 마디바다 나에 그래서 마디는 괜찮아서 뭐데 줘야 그래 했어 그런데 좋은 짓이로 와 그래서 좋은 짓을 했어 어때 제가 지금 그래
아니, 네讲是说对米崩啊、충분히 있어야 돼, 가리.
진짜
알았어.
공부도 좋은 거 같아
나는 왕복이 충무.
왕부스는 중국 요 동아 주제가 왕부디 왕부 비쇼 저 소가 이거 되겠어 그거 제목이 비쇼라
왕복, 나한테 충무리.
yes 랑은 제가 랑은 비쇼 저야 이거 yes 이거 내가 랑은 비쇼 저야 말에 좀뭐 해서 뭐다
Yeah. So on the occasions of the level of heat and the level of heat, then there are two times or there are two occasions. One occasion is it can be overcome by its discordant class. And the second one is it cannot be overcome by its discordant class. So the occasions that the strength on the occasions that power can be overcome by its discordant class is during the post meditation, and the on the occasions of power cannot be overcome by its discordant class is when these powers such as faith are manifesting or cultivated. So, and these five powers, the powers within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment, since it can be overcome by its discordant class, therefore is called small or lesser. And five strengths within the 37 harmonies of enlightenment, since they cannot be overcome by its discordant classes, therefore they are called great.
아무것도 왕부의 실장인다 그것도 왕부니까 제바로 와 제바 나 왕부 그냥 그 영화 글쎄가 왕부 그냥 비자인 봐 방금 니쇼게 그 좋은 니비까지다 니비까 니도와 니도와 다 또셔와 하나도 영화 또 시험에 영화 세바를 지도 가서 시험으로 와 세바를 지도 가서 와 세바 지도 가서 들이 공아 뭐야 들어와 동아들 아 대비도 제리도 대비도 제리 진도 진도 시를 동아들 와 아, 되니 또 되는데 저시비 본시비 값어 다른 거 문제시 저 그거니 이거 말아. 얘를 이바로 원본이 지바로 와. 여기 컨디션이 봐. 이게 똥하네. 용화세 거다 충족 가서 우리 똥하다 누구 이 시비 값어 방금 문제시 저 그거니 무슨 정도 주고 말했어. 이거 말했어. 아, 대제지 내가 나야. 야, 문제죠. 뭐지 주고 말했어. 대제지 내가 나 문제죠.
거기 값수.
대제지 값도 다 주고 말했어. 다음 대제지 값은 문제죠. 좀 맞춰야지. 니바 니바 또 터서. 니바 또 터서 쓴다. 나 첨부를 했어. 나랑 문제죠. 제지 값은 문제죠. 저 문이비 차리 첨부를 했어. 이게 원보대 예수께서 원보대 랑고 문제죠. 제지 값은 랑고 문제죠. 저 니비 차리 중을 했어. 와 중물이 근데 또대 영화 지금 영화 또대 몸이 그러니까 저 가만히 이 제기 내가 나야 어디 주지 저 문이 잘 같이 뭐래 그래서 이거 말했어 뭔가 돈이 제발 따다 넣어서 나 님보 마시 줘서 근데 어디 님보 마시 님보 코나리 했어 그러니까 내가 말했어 미시다 내가 말했던 게 뭐야 그러면서 꼭 문제 주비 그게 가서 문제시 좋아 이거 말해 이 예진내가는 좋아 이거 말했어 니 뭐라 내가 니 뭐라 하거나 니야마도 문제시 뭐 주도고 좋아 어디 주도고 말해서 그런다 문제시 신진을 주도고 말해서 뭐다들
So on the level of heat and peak, then there are two occasions. One occasion is the 5 powers can be overcome by by their respective discordant class, and the second occasion is that the 5 powers cannot be overcome by their respective discordant class. So the occasions that can be overcome is during the post meditation, and that it cannot be over 5 powers cannot be overcome by its discordant class is during is when the 5 powers are manifesting. So, and that is on the level of heat and peak of a preparation. Then on the level of forbearance and supreme mundane quality. So when one is on these two levels, the later two levels, forbearance and supreme mundane qualities, the 5 strengths. The 5 strengths are the strength of faith, joyous effort, mindfulness, meditative stabilization, and wisdom. So these 5, when these are cultivated, when these 5 strengths are manifesting. So when, like for example, the strength of faith is manifesting, its discordant class, which is non-faith, cannot overcome strength, cannot overcome the strength of faith. So that is when the strength of faith is manifesting. So even during the post-meditation, its discordant class, non-faith, cannot overcome the strength of faith as well. So one has obtained the ability for its discordant class. Uh, one has obtained the ability. One has obtained the ability so that its discordant class cannot manifest even during the meditative stabilization. One has obtained the ability. That ability is its discordant class cannot manifest even during the meditative, even during post-meditation. So therefore, that is 5 strength is called great. The 5 powers are called small. Small is because during post-meditation, its discordant class can overcome 5 powers. Therefore, they are called small. And 5 strength on the level of forbearance and supreme mundane quality, they are called great because they have obtained the ability that its discordant class cannot manifest during post-meditation. So therefore, they are called great. So that is why it says that which arises as only an antidote without being mixed with its discordant class is called strength. So strength is when the strength is manifesting even during post-meditation, their discordant class cannot manifest. Therefore, only an antidote arises. So therefore, it says without being mixed with its discordant class, it's called strength. As compared to power, so power arises as a mixture of the discordant class. Why? Because during the post-meditation, their discordant class can overcome the 5 powers, such as faith.
那么就大胆的说，我的不行嘞，月半钟，是的，月半钟，是的，月半钟我是背着多啊，大家看得多啊，也不老说宁波的是月半钟啊，那往不，门里边说起满地把宁波百姓钟啊，多是老多啊，宁波百姓，俺我说多的，俺宁波百姓了，让你什么多，是吧？我结果的，那我说多的宁波上百姓了，是吧？我说用了热把的清洁把这这里多啊有啊，多关的。동안 어떻게 또 돼? 갖고 님보 마시려마도 또 문디시게 좋아 따와니 문도와 문디시게 좋아 문주도 주비가나 문디시게 좋아요 말에 제진내가나 문디시게 좋아요 말에 갖고 님보라 마시는 님한테 마도 대반이고 말에 예스탄 제 가지 실사이 봐 제베 되는데 뭐들아 문디게나 님보 제바 니스 제반 좀 제바 주사 문디쇼다 님보니 뭐 제약해 요 맞다야 뭐 제약해 요 말에 좋아记得念过记得啊对吧记대바 마대바니 뭐 제약해 봐 대바 이거 말 제바서 단다 되다 와 되어야 돼. 좋아. 어디? 아, 되니 제발 되다. 뭔가 거기 제발 좋아. 문디주다. 네모 네번 동안에 왕보. 문디주다. 아, 만리번 네모 바뀐 동안에 또. 다들 된다는 거 지수아.
Chế biệt thuế người na tiếng cái tiếng Wang Bo ngon được quy cấp là cái mình tuyên cho để chỉ mình nữa bà, nên chỉ thuộc cái cấp số tiếng chỉ nữa bà, nên đi chế biệt thuế đó.
开始这样给嘛，我这个念不念这我这样去念嘛，是吧？我这样东西都比起来的，然后我这个时候，你也不用嘛，是吧？
Yeah, so I have explained to you what does it mean by mixture of the discordant class and the antidotes. So it means that on the level of heat and peak of the path of preparation, when power is when five powers such as faith is manifesting, their discordant classes cannot manifest. So cannot manifest or cannot overcome five powers. However, during post meditation, when five powers are not manifesting, then those discordant classes overcome the five powers or manifesting, thus overcome the five powers. So that is what it means by mixture of the discordant class and the antidote. Then when we talk about strength, so strength that which arises as only an antidote without being mixed with this discordant class means that when the five strengths are manifesting, or even during post meditation, those discordant classes cannot overcome the five strengths or cannot manifest. So therefore, this is the difference between the power and the strength. So it means that one is mixed with the the antidote is mixed with the discordant class, that is called power. Then strength is only an antidote, and is not mixed with its discordant class. So that is the difference between power and strength. So when we say mix the discordant class with the antidotes, and it doesn't mean that the entity of the discordant class is mixed with the entity of the antidotes, and they cannot be mixed. So it doesn't mean that their entities are mixed. It means that I say during post meditations, those discordant class can manifest. Then therefore is called mixture of the discordant class and the antidote.
我这个我说的话，按照我们老的哪里体会到了，能些能干的不，是吧？里头地方的不是必须有吧？哪里搞什么都有啊？嘛，哪里搞都有啊？
体力大不？
怎么打？怎么打？能些能干的不是必须有吧？我们是街头怎么打不打？那你非得弄的，街头怎么打是吧？那街头怎么打不是的？那是我们来，红包你那边养不下，养不下去搞是吧？养下比打不也不学不去穷吧一呢？给街头的告诉养下这个最麻药，那下这个你我们养吧是吧？最麻药啊，最麻药啊！那行，工作去看你去通吧一呢，就嘛打不下头不也是吧？
养下给自己买药啊，
养下给最麻药啊，也都是告诉去看看，你嘛打不下头也是，你嘛打不下头也是吧？你嘛打不下头也是的来用吧？我这个东西，要得那俺说都喜欢的话，都得俺说。让到底我的区别个呢？到底我的这要是问题就是做你就嘛的，你呢？你接近那个呢？到底你不需求不的，对吧？到底你不的最麻药啊，你不的麻药啊，别的要把你啥？接近那个呢？那问题是多嘛？也是多嘛？也是，那你那找不着，还是的，那么现在我打个接触就嘛打个什么？
真的找不有的，
那找不着。我这街头搞成我是去看里头呢，怎么到我通头呀？哪下个你不知道？哪下个你不知最麻要的，你知道吧？你到这里嘛到，那个都街头是个对，那怎么他们完全不懂。
Yeah, so if you still remember that when we talk about when we in the lumbering class, then we talk about space-like meditative equipoise and illusion-like post-meditation or subsequent attainment. So subsequent attainment and post-meditation is the same word. So space-like meditative equipoise and illusion-like post-meditation or subsequent attainment. So the understanding of these two terms that I mentioned just now is similar to the 5 strengths that we are talking about, that is not mixed with its discordant class, even during post-meditation or subsequent attainment. So when we talk about this space-like meditative equipoise and illusion-like subsequent attainment, we say that when so when one is in the meditative equipoise on emptiness, then one rises from the meditation, one enters into the subsequent attainment or during post-meditation. So when the power, when the power of the meditative equipoise has not degenerated, all phenomena appears like an illusion. Even during the post-meditation. So I repeat. So when one is in the meditative equipoise on emptiness, then when one rises from the meditation, one enters into subsequent attainment or post-meditation, right? So during the post-meditation, and when the power of the meditative equipoise has not generated, all phenomena appears like an illusion. So this is due to the power of the meditative equipoise has not degenerated. So then you apply the similar understanding to this strength. So when the strength are cultivated and when strength is manifesting, it cannot be overcome by its discordant class. And during the post-meditation or subsequent attainment, when the power of the strength has not degenerated, it cannot be overcome by it cannot be overcome by its discordant class.
我到底好过我今晚做，不是对的，不是的看到。
講但接都幾級數，都見了吧？呢啲樣馬飲一樣啦。
你慢飲吧，等我是
慢飲被急來，呢啲咪專注自吐嘛哇？而呢啲啊，
慢飲你哋嚟過，慢飲別個要啊，
接都幾級數，接都幾級數，看對那樣都見了吧？你係啲嘛咧？
不嚟過，你就做乜嘢別個
都見了吧？你嘢嘅嘛哇？你招啊你嘢嘅嘛咧？那是那說，
你慢飲是的，你就知道嘛的是吧？你不娘子你就知道了吧？
那說，yeah. So when we talk about strength, so when strength is manifesting, it cannot be overcome by its discordant class, even during the post-meditation or subsequent attainment, since the ability of the strength will not degenerate. Yeah. So since the ability of the strength is not degenerated, it's not degenerated, therefore it cannot be overcome by its discordant class.
那被小个的我做，这样子咱在心里过年没包有的话，你过去有的，是顶一过别个了，顶一过别个了，我就顶进去了，对，你把个来的，我别个是被你把的了，什么样不知道的，人家现在哪一码的路都要嘛，哪一码的，你把的了，我要给路的，现在我的绝对的话，你把的了别都给，现在我别个是我的绝对的，人家我的绝对个是问题就哪一点的。是顶进去的，是图过来，是图嘛的，是图要嘛的话，我就你把这被心里过别干了，我说你把这这几多年呢，我这个的话，你我的搞不是了，你顶进去这个问题就哪样这个是你个的事，是你个要嘛，是你个嘛，你个嘛的人呢，那心里过别判长一点去对呢，去干是吧？听啥干是？那听啥干是？等你顶进去过来给你把的，慢点不要吧？那。 인사 가서 가다 나이 되기 저거 나이 되기 와 다들이 니바도 왜 봐이나 된 인사 가서 랑서 나이 되려서 뭐 주사 랑서고 나이 되는 거 주잖아 랑서고 미바도 야 예, 미바들 세내야 돼 양동 랑서 나이 거 좀. 어때 들리기 제가 여다들 상황 봐라 나 저거도 스스로 선호당해 몸 집에 가라 인사 가서 랑서 하신 인사 가서 미바도 상상 이나 차다 마도 이사가도 드디 요이사로 와.
So among us, then among you all, there are many people. There are many of you trying to cultivate calm abiding. So when you cultivate calm abiding, when you're cultivating calm abiding, your mind is single-pointedly focused on the objects of observation, right? The chosen objects of observation. So that is meditative civilization. So during that time, when your mind is single-pointedly focusing on the objects of observation, your meditative civilization cannot be overcome by distraction. So, however, when you rise from the meditation during the post-meditation or in between sessions, in between meditative session, then if you have obtained the ability of if you have obtained ability that your meditative stabilization is not degenerated, then even during the post meditation, your meditative stabilization cannot be overcome by distraction. So, however, if you have not attained the ability that your meditative civilization will not degenerate, then since during the post meditation, your meditative civilization degenerates, therefore your meditative civilization can be overcome by distraction.
那么这背写的讲的对了不对？对，是说的对。来个几背写不是说也不行，是说的加了人呢的，是说来个可以个背写，是说搞到前面这个的里边，是说这个就读读呢，读读呢罗，写了本来搞啊学全部接的，我那个身份读过全部这个关系，
加了的，
我是说的里，那个读的呢，罗，加了他关系呢，那说了罢了。 Shatan ko semba gaya semba chumbu gaya tlechi kala rade ba ina leka ina tlechi yoba che li yobe kaso a leka shinda kala saya tuya kanina ikawa ke ya rawate shinda kala saya tuya la yel kecha che kanina sel gaya yi do mai sel haja gawa yora so ga hawate yidu ya semba ko yidu ya shinda kala saya tuya da bukita karshina sel jibo de de
So when you talk about this strength, an example is like this: when you're doing something that you like very much, or when you holding something that you like very much, then you're very happy, and then you have the great joy in you. So even even when you are engaging in other activities. So, for example, you are eating or when you're talking with someone else, that joy still remains in you. So that is an example to illustrate that the strength cannot be overcome by its discordant class, or the strength remains even during the post meditation or subsequent attainments.
现在是多啊，当我做长期说的那我做，电视俺多少，但电视多你们电视你们哪样多，那电视你哪样，上网地区修电视多，电视你哪样呢？就多接了要，那电视不多啊。
So we have covered the fifth divisions of 37 harmonies of enlightenment. So there are two groups remaining. Two groups remain. So we're then we are going to talk about it in the following classes. So today we don't have much time for question and answer. If you have any, then so we will allocate a time for it in the future.
我说给找你那个几点把几把的罗掉，或者咱们就做这个给他们啥子或者是有，这已经知道舒服结果，而且那么什么了没？养心里面有的跟你啊，我去拿去上面去了。 因为是那忙着这些什么的，忙着是把你的多呀，忙着在你啊，把你的多呀，记得中学呢吧，那是把这这个的在旁边用，咱们的把西点用，比什么说，我轻松。
We conclude with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma, to the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. And we dedicate these fruits of virtue to all upholders of the teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to have excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy rituals be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. We also dedicate these fruits of virtue specifically to our beloved teacher, Devji Lama Doba Rinpoche. May the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma for the sake of teachings and sentient beings, so that we will have the opportunity to receive the profound teachings from Rinpoche again. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace. May excellent happiness prevail in the world. May wars, conflicts, the disaster, natural disaster that caused by the four elements, and pandemic diseases be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who promote peace and happiness, promotes world peace and happiness, world peace and happiness, and those who help others, such as those wretched beings or those who are in a poor situation. So wherever they are, then we dedicate these roots of virtue for their long life, for their good health, and uh, and may their life be filled with excellent happiness, and may all their good wishes be accomplished without any obstacles.
Tawa Rinpoche ma chepa na chikyoji chepa nyamba me bayang kone kondo pewa sho. Tawa Rinpoche ma chepa na chikyoji chepa nyamba me bayang kone kondo pewa sho. Nike sondo chebe lang chi tse se se kang chen te lue ge chana pe mo te tse kya so la. Sama te so yin te lue do sho. Te ka le pe te pa te pa ka le ju ge sa pe yi shin no ka ju su pe ten tse kya so la. Sama te so tu xe le do sho. Ta me ke ma ke se te rang zo lo san te wa ya se tu ba je rang ja shi. Kya yo ma tu lo te te me wa tu pe ge sen so. Yo so zo pe tu te rin po je shi da tu pe tse tse pe wa la. Nang ya ma shu su pe ko cha de su pe je tse la ma so wa de pen de ma pe chu kwe ko ji ko. Ya ye den da ma jo do wa ye ten la ji do zo ba se pe mo. Lo pro chi wa shi de yi le ba. Wen da chu so kya se ji ma dang. Ka se na che tu te la po je me de pe ya ko sa pe jung. Te sa tu chi pe do ye shi so. Ka ra ra ye ko ye shi ka de pen da de wa ma yu shi ne. Te je si wa te tse kya zo ye sha pe si te ba do te kyu chi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kitala. Thank you, everyone.